Welcome to our channel, where we explore the hidden sides of culture, history, and identity. Today, we're diving into two countries that are often mentioned together, but are very different at their core: Scotland and Ireland. At first glance, they may seem alike. Both have beautiful green landscapes, Celtic roots, and a love for storytelling and music. But once you look closer, the differences are mind-blowing. So grab a warm drink, settle in, and get ready to discover 10 surprising ways Scotland and Ireland are not the same. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating cultures. Now let's start with something basic but very important: politics. Because if you don't understand how these two nations are governed, it's hard to understand anything else about them. Let's begin with Scotland. Scotland is one of the 4 nations that make up the United Kingdom, along with England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. What this means is that Scotland is not an independent country. It shares a monarch, King Charles III, and a central government located in Westminster, London. But here's where it gets interesting. Scotland also has its own parliament, based in Edinburgh, the capital. This Scottish Parliament was re-established in 1999 and is responsible for what are called devolved powers. These include things like education, healthcare, transportation, and parts of the legal system. So in many day-to-day matters, Scotland runs itself. But on bigger national or international issues like foreign policy, immigration, and defence, those are still controlled by the UK government in London. It's a system of shared power, but not without tension. In fact, there's been growing pressure in Scotland for full independence, especially after Brexit. A lot of Scots feel they didn't vote to leave the European Union, and yet they were forced to because the UK as a whole voted leave. Now let's look at Ireland, and things couldn't be more different. Ireland is a completely independent country, officially known as the Republic of Ireland. It's not part of the UK. In fact, it fought hard to separate from it. That fight lasted centuries, filled with uprisings, political movements, and tragic events like the Great Famine, which many blame on British neglect. The final push came in the early 20th century, when Ireland gained independence in 1922 after a war of independence and the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty. So today, Ireland has its own president, its own prime minister, its own flag, army, constitution, and place on the world stage. It's a member of the European Union, it uses the euro, and it proudly stands as a sovereign nation. This makes the political differences between the two very sharp. Scotland still uses the British pound, answers to a king, and sends representatives to the UK Parliament. Ireland uses the euro, elects its own leaders, and has full control over its laws and borders. One remains tied to a centuries-old monarchy. The other broke free nearly 100 years ago and never looked back. Religion also has played a huge role in shaping both nations, but in very different ways. In Ireland, the dominant religion is Roman Catholicism. It's deeply rooted in Irish identity and culture. Churches, saints, and Catholic schools are everywhere. In Scotland, the main religion is Presbyterianism, a form of Protestant Christianity. The Church of Scotland is even nicknamed the Kirk. This religious divide even played a role in wars and colonization, especially in Northern Ireland, where Irish Catholics and British Protestants clashed violently for decades during the Troubles. Today, both countries are becoming more secular, but the religious history still influences holidays, politics, and even architecture. When it comes to language, they may both speak English, but their accents and native tongues are wildly different. In Scotland, you'll hear a wide range of Scottish accents, from the soft lilt of the Highlands to the thick Glaswegian accent that can be hard to understand even for other Scots. Scotland also has its own traditional languages, Scots and Scottish Gaelic. Scots sounds like a twist on Old English, while Gaelic sounds completely different. On the other hand, in Ireland, the Irish accent varies by region too. Dubliners sound very different from people in Cork or Galway. And let's not forget Irish Gaelic, or Gaelge, a completely different language from Scottish Gaelic, While they share ancient roots, they've evolved separately and are now quite distinct. So even though they're both Celtic nations, their languages and accents set them apart immediately. Both countries are full of folklore, but their mythical creatures and legends are different. In Ireland, people talk about leprechauns, the banshee, a ghostly woman who warns of death, and the mystical land of Tir na Nog, the land of eternal youth. In Scotland, the most famous mythical figure is the Loch Ness Monster, also known as Nessie. Scots also have legends about Selkies, seal people, and the fearsome Kelpie, a shape-shifting water spirit. Irish myths often involve trickery, fairies, and enchanted forests. Scottish tales lean more toward haunting, mystery, and ancient battles. So if you're into folklore, both countries offer rich traditions, but with very different flavors. Music runs deep in the soul of both Ireland and Scotland. It's not just entertainment, it's identity, it's emotion, it's history passed down through melody and rhythm. But once you listen closely, you'll notice they sound completely different. Let's start with Ireland. Irish music is lively, infectious, and full of energy. You hear it and you instantly want to tap your feet, or even get up and dance. At the heart of it all are traditional instruments like the bodhran, a handheld frame drum played with a short stick that gives Irish music its pulsing heartbeat. Then there's the tin whistle, light and playful, often leading the tune with its sweet, high-pitched notes. And of course the fiddle, which adds speed, swing, and soul. But the experience isn't just about the sound, it's about the community. Irish music is designed to be played in pubs, at gatherings, and at festivals, where people sing along, clap, and join in. The atmosphere is warm, cheerful, and filled with storytelling. And then there's the dance. Thanks to shows like Riverdance, the world got a front-row seat to Irish step dancing, famous for its lightning-fast footwork and perfectly still upper body. It's an art form that takes discipline, passion, and rhythm. Whether performed solo or in a group, Irish dance feels like a celebration. You can see the joy in every stomp. Now let's head over to Scotland, and the mood changes. Scottish music has a different tone. It's deeper, haunting, and sometimes even soul-stirring. The moment you hear the unmistakable wail of the bagpipes, it's like being transported to another world. A place of misty mountains, ancient battles, and brave warriors. Bagpipes are the heartbeat of Scottish tradition. You'll hear them at weddings, funerals, military events, and Highland games. The sound is bold, proud, and unforgettable. But bagpipes aren't the only players. Scottish folk music also includes the fiddle, just like in Ireland, but played in a slightly more melancholic style. You might also hear the accordion, flute, and the clarsach, a traditional Celtic harp. As for the dancing, Scotland takes a more formal and athletic approach. Take Highland dancing, for example. It's not the same as Irish step dancing. In Highland dance, solo dancers perform with strength, grace, and remarkable control. Every step is full of tradition. Every gesture has meaning. Dancers often wear kilts, and their routines are competitive, sometimes even used to judge a warrior's fitness back in the day. While Irish music invites you to join the party, Scottish music often stirs something deeper in the chest, a sense of pride, honor, and memory. Two Celtic nations, two rich musical heritages, but the soundtracks of their souls, entirely different. Now let's head to the kitchen, because nothing reveals a culture like its food. Let's begin in Ireland. Irish cuisine is all about comfort, simplicity, and warmth. These are meals that tell stories of country life, family gatherings, and survival through hard times. Take the Irish stew, for example, a hearty mix of lamb or beef, potatoes, onions, and carrots. It's humble, filling, and deeply traditional. Then there's boxty, crispy golden potato pancakes that can be served plain or filled with meats and cheeses. It's a rural classic, passed down through generations. Colcannon is another favorite, creamy mashed potatoes mixed with cabbage or kale, often served with a generous pat of butter right in the middle. It's a dish that tastes like home. And of course, every Irish table features soda bread, dense, slightly sweet, and best served with butter and jam. It's a staple at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But what really brings Irish culture to life is what's poured into your glass. Guinness. This dark, rich stout has become a global symbol of Ireland. Smooth, creamy, and a bit bitter, Guinness isn't just a drink, it's an experience. Served in almost every pub across the country, it's part of the national identity. Now let's visit Scotland, where things take a bolder, more adventurous turn. The most famous and sometimes feared dish is haggis. Now before you judge, hear this out. Haggis is made from sheep's liver, heart and lungs, mixed with oats, onions, suet and spices. It's all traditionally cooked in a sheep's stomach. Sounds intense, right? But ask anyone who's tried it. It's flavorful, savory and surprisingly good. It's usually served with neeps and tatties, that's mashed turnips and potatoes, and is a highlight of Burns Night, a Scottish cultural celebration. Another classic is Scotch broth, a warm soup made with barley, lamb, root vegetables and herbs. It's the kind of meal that warms your bones in a Highland winter. And we can't forget the Scotch pies, Cranachan dessert or shortbread biscuits, each one with its own place at Scottish tables. But when it comes to global fame, nothing beats Scotch whisky. Made from malted barley and aged in oak barrels, Scotch is bold, complex, and loved all over the world. Each region in Scotland, from Islay to Speyside, produces whiskies with their own signature flavors, from smoky and peaty to sweet and smooth. While Ireland is known for its pub culture, where storytelling and pints of Guinness flow side by side, Scotland is known for its whisky heritage, refined, respected, and deeply tied to the land. So when it comes to food and drink, both countries celebrate tradition. But Ireland comforts the soul, while Scotland challenges the palate. Both countries are deeply proud of their heritage, but they express it differently. Ireland's national symbol is the harp, a musical instrument tied to poets and ancient bards. You'll also see the shamrock, linked to St. Patrick and Irish identity. Scotland's symbol is the thistle, a tough, spiky flower that represents strength and resilience. The Scottish flag features a white X on a blue background known as the saltire. Ireland's pride often centers around its fight for independence and its global diaspora. Millions of Irish descendants live in America, Canada, and Australia. Scotland's pride comes from its rich clan history, warrior culture, and distinct identity within the UK. And yes, both are fiercely proud of their national sports teams, especially when playing against England. When you think of traditional dress, Scotland wins in visibility. The kilt, tartan patterns and sporran, a pouch worn around the waist, are instantly recognizable. These are often worn during ceremonies, weddings and parades. Each Scottish clan has its own tartan, almost like a family flag. Ireland, while rich in textiles and Aran wool sweaters, doesn't have a traditional outfit that's as visually iconic as the Scottish kilt. Irish style is more subtle. Wool, tweed and hand-knit patterns dominate. So while both have Celtic roots, Scotland stands out more in global fashion due to the kilt culture. Both countries are breathtakingly beautiful, but their geography sets them apart. Ireland is an island, while Scotland is part of the larger island of Great Britain. Ireland's landscape is rolling and lush, filled with green fields, limestone cliffs and gentle hills. It's known as the Emerald Isle for good reason. Scotland, by contrast, is more rugged. Think towering mountains, deep glens, lochs, lakes, and dramatic coastlines. The Scottish Highlands are wild, mysterious, and cinematic. If Ireland feels like a comforting poem, Scotland feels like an epic saga. Lastly, let's talk about each country's relationship with England, because it's very different. Ireland fought long and hard for independence. There's a deep history of colonization, famine, rebellion, and war. Even today, while relations are peaceful, there's still emotional weight in Ireland's past with Britain. Scotland, meanwhile, chose to join the United Kingdom through the Act of Union in 1707. But in recent years, there's been growing talk of independence, especially after Brexit. Many Scots feel their values no longer align with Westminster. So while both have a complex history with England, Ireland broke away completely, while Scotland remains. but with rising pressure for change. And there you have it, 10 mind-blowing differences between Scotland and Ireland. Yes, they share Celtic roots. Yes, they both value music, family, and storytelling, but their histories, identities, and cultural expressions are incredibly unique. One leans toward rebellion, the other toward resilience. One tells stories with a laugh, the other with a haunting melody. Understanding these differences helps us better appreciate what makes each nation special. So whether you're planning a visit, tracing your roots, or just curious about the world, we hope you've learned something new today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps our channel grow and keeps history alive. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.